3JS. Hi, it's Miss Solomon. How are you today? Today I want to talk to you about how to organize your day. So let's take a look at the daily learning plan and think about when it makes sense to do certain activities and which activities kind of overlap, things that we could sort of combine and make it easier for you. So let's take a look. So what's in store for Thursday, April 16th, 2020? Well, here we have independent reading, poets workshop, word work, mission 5, math, inquiry workshop, which is science and writing, mindfulness, and music. So to start, when we think about independent reading, each of you knows about what is the best time of day and the special place that you like to read. Some of us love to read late at night, curled up in our beds, in our special quiet place. Or some of us, like me, I like to get up early in the morning and make a hot drink and sit and read by myself. So reading can take place at any time in the day. Maybe it's not the first thing you want to do. Maybe it's the last thing you want to do. But you can make a plan that I'm going to always do my reading first thing in the morning, or I'm always going to do my reading right after dinner time. When does it work for you? And if you're having trouble staying focused, I actually taught a lesson about this when we were together. What are your strategies? How do you fix that up? We all get distracted sometimes. So today there's a video helping you make strategies for how to bring yourself back to the book, back to being focused, and sometimes that requires taking a break. And this is where mindfulness comes in, or music. These are the things that you can pop in when you need a break. So today in mindfulness, you're going to be working in slow motion, writing your name. It's almost like breathing slowly. It slows down your heart rate, relaxes your body, focusing on something you're doing with your hands. And in music today, you have a lesson with Miss Zimmerman. For me, I would get really tired if I sat down and did all these activities in a row. But what I would prefer doing is maybe starting with independent reading, taking a break from reading with music, and then getting back to Poets Workshop. So Poets Workshop today is about how you take all the things you're learning about poetry and all the knowledge you have about poetry. How does that help you when you read other stuff, other kinds of books? So today we're going to read another book together and notice the poetic devices that authors use. And you might think about, I notice the author's doing this, but what's the author's purpose? How is this helping me as a reader make meaning? So often when writers are using poetic devices, they are helping their readers make meaning, understand the story, understand maybe the character or the setting or the mood or the emotion. So after doing Poets Workshop, you can maybe go to the Inquiry Workshop, which is really another writing exercise about spring. So once you've been inspired by poetry, maybe your writing about spring can be in poetic form or not. Maybe you want to be a scientist and just observe what you notice outside. These are choices. So think about how it makes sense for you to organize your day. Word work today is learning about different types of sentences, and you all know punctuation like question marks and exclamation marks and periods, but really when you see something like that, it's telling you about the type of sentence that is. And some sentences make statements or are commands and they end in periods, and other sentences are asking questions or interrogating. So today we're going to explore the different types of sentences. And did I go over it all? Oh, mission 5, lesson 5. Stick with one Zern lesson a day. And if you like an extension, a math extension, I would choose to go to IXL. Now, math is a fun activity, and it's pretty easygoing with CERN. So maybe this is something that you do later in the day, because math might be something that you find to be relaxing and simple for you. So I'm gonna pause and show you how I organize my day. In looking at the different things that we are doing tomorrow, I'm gonna make a list that I could check off as I go. So I'm going to start with independent reading in the morning, and then I kind of want to go to music to take a break. And after music, I'm going to go to the poet's workshop, right? And I want to get my work done. And then I'm going to take a mindfulness break. And then I'm going to jump into the inquiry workshop. And last, I'm going to do my math mission. So as you do things, no matter how you number them, you can check them off or cross them out so you can feel accomplished as you work through your day. Think about how you want to organize your day, what makes sense to do first, what makes sense to do last. You are going to help make the order, but take a moment today to plan how you're going to organize your day. Have a fantastic day. I love you. Bye-bye.
Chapter 2. Busy weeks followed. Lu Yi helped cut and stack the ripe yellow wheat. The grain had to be threshed, dried, and bagged. Then what they did not use themselves, they took to town, where it would be either sold or put on canal barges and taken to larger cities. When he was needed, Lu Yi did not go to school, but worked alongside his parents. This was such a time. Lu Yi almost forgot about the two strangers and the talk about moving. Then one morning, he was awakened by angry shouts. "Get away, you rascal! Get out of here!" Lu Yi jumped up from his sleeping mat and ran to the door. There was Mr. Po wrestling with a large black and white animal next to his beehives. The animal had one paw stuck in a hive. Mr. Po was tugging at it. Lu Yi stared. It was a Daksong Mao, the great bear cat. He had never seen one before. Daksong Mao lived high in the mountains. They never came down here. At that moment, Mr. Po and the Daksong Mao ended their wrestling match, for the bees burst out in an angry humming swarm. The two wrestlers parted abruptly. Mr. Po ran toward his house. The Daksong Mao dropped to all fours and clumsily ran up the mountain slope. Mr. Po was furious. He ran to his house and came out with an old shotgun. Lu Yi's father stopped him. "Are you crazy? You kill a Daksong Mao and they will make us all move." Mr. Po seemed to calm down. Lu Yi's father let go of his arm. "Besides," he added, "you don't really want to shoot it. There are so few left up there." He motioned toward the mist-covered mountains. "Well, as long as they stay up there and keep out of my hives." Grumbling to himself, Mr. Po took the gun back to his house. The Daksong Mao, or giant panda, as some call it, is a very special animal. Living high in the mountains, it is a creature of mystery. It lives hidden deep in the bamboo forests. Why did this one suddenly appear? Now that the harvest was over, Lu Yi went back to school. As usual, he met his friend Ho Yen, and they walked together along the footpath to the teacher's schoolhouse. But who could think about school? Did you see it? Of course I did. As the boys walked and talked, they kept glancing up at the mountains, hoping they might get another glimpse of the Daksong Mao. Maybe it'll come back. I hope not. Don't you want to see it? Sure, but Mr. Po might shoot it. Lu Yi waved at Mrs. Chen as they walked by. She was working in her rice fields. Why did you think they came down from the mountain? Oh Yen shrugged. Why? I guess to get Mr. Po's honey. I don't blame it. Do you? Lu Yi walked silently for a while. Oh Yen made a joke of everything. Should he tell him the worry he had been keeping inside? I think we might have to move, he blurted out. Move? For once, Ho Yen became serious. Why? I think it has to do with the Daksang Mao. What? Because the Daksang Mouse came to steal Mr. Po's honey? Ho Yen started to laugh. Lu Yi frowned. It was not a joke. Didn't you hear about what my father said? Yes, he said, if you kill the Daksang Mao, we will all have to move. So? Ho Yen shook his head. He was all excited. He didn't want Mr. Po to shoot. You know how grown-ups are. They just say things sometimes. Not my father. The two boys walked in silence for a while. Said Oh Yen finally. I can't see what one thing has to do with the other. Well, Mr. Po mended his beehives. He quit his grumbling. There was no more talk about moving. And, for a while, everything was pretty much back to normal.